A kid murders his 72-year-old grandmother in Michigan. She did everything for him. Let's go. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that.
The whole family does not understand. Like a nightmare. They don't understand. They don't know if it was mental issues. So no, something took over them because they never argued. And she loved him dearly.
Welcome back to our channel. I am Halima Styles. A family is stunned and heartbroken after a 23-year-old man killed his grandmother inside a Southfield, Michigan apartment with a gun that had been stolen years ago in Farmington Hills, police said. Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron says officers were called at 11:23 p.m. March 24th to the Legacy Place Apartments at 22500 Saratoga Street.
You gotta think that lady don't know how to feel. Like the grief. She lost two people. She lost like her mother and her son. Like she's not just she's mourning both of their death at the same time. She lost him. He's going to life somewhere or a mental institution, and whatever he says happened, she has no idea. Like she's gonna have. There's always two sides to a story. She'll never know her mother is like. That's crazy. She'll never know why. She might not even believe him if he told her.
Desjuan Tyree Anthony Mack, 23, of Southfield, called 911 and told the police that he had fallen asleep and woken up to find Margaret Alice Mack, 72, of Southfield, unresponsive and cold to the touch, according to authorities. He told them that he had last seen her around an hour before making the call, officials said. The Southfield police arrived. They determined that Margaret Mack had been shot several times and was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect continued to provide conflicting information as it relates to even their relationship, Barron said. He initially described her as a family friend, gravitated to an adoptive grandchild, and was pronounced dead at the scene.
Oh, damn, my bad. I'm messing up. He was just lying. That goes to a mental plea right there. He was just, where was I? Right here. Hold on.
Touch, according to authorities. He told them that he had last seen her around an hour before making the call, officials said. The Southfield police.
He was on something. Like I hope they got a alcohol report or they took some blood on him. He was on something.
Police arrived. They determined that Margaret Mack had been shot several times and was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect continued to provide conflicting information as it relates to even their relationship, Barron said. He initially described her as a family friend, gravitated to an adoptive grandchild, and then ultimately we discovered that he was the biological grandchild of Mrs. Mack. When suspects demonstrate this type of behavior, what we find is they are typically trying to separate themselves from the victim, whether it is emotional separation or physical separation. Officials learned that Desjuan Mack lived with his grandmother, but had only recently returned from out of state. Southfield police said they identified him as a
thing, so he probably just had a mental break, so he can't even deal with it yet in his head what he just did, or it probably was a lapse in judgment or on some drugs. You gotta know the reason he returned. Was it on? Did he lose his job? Did he lose everything? He had to return to his grandma's house. And she had some strict rules or something, and then he just. Man, that's crazy. Grandma, if you watching this, you're lucky. See, look, that's why I'm your favorite. See, I don't do stuff like that. It's crazy.
Primary suspect of the grandmother's murder. They found a .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol behind her couch pillow and determined it had been stolen from a Farmington Hills in 2018, according to the authorities. Spent shell casings confirmed the pistol was the weapon used in the murder, according to the chief. The motive is still unclear, Barron said. We believe it began with some type of argument or disagreement and then escalated into a senseless crime. Desjuan Mack was arraigned on Monday, March 28th, on charges of open murder and felony firearm. He is being held without bond. He is scheduled to appear in the 46th District Court at 9:45 a.m. on April 7th. Barron said Mack has a prior domestic violence charge from 2020 in Minnesota. Barron said police have interviewed Desjuan Mack and still can't determine the motive in the case. He is not being cooperative in the investigation, the chief said. This makes really no sense why a 23-year-old would harm not only an elderly person, but their own grandparent, who the family describes as a loving grandmother who's done pretty much everything that the grandmother could do for him, Barron said. Courtney Mack, the victim's daughter-in-law, and Margaret Mack had 4 sons in a healthy relationship with everyone in her family. Margaret Mack was a God-fearing woman, Courtney Mack said. She had 4 sons that she loved dearly. She spoke to her sons every day. She was a loving grandmother. She has a lot of grandkids.
4 sons. Dang. He can't even call the family for help. Like, I wonder how they feel about it. That's crazy. Put down in the comments how you would take this. Could you forgive somebody? Could you forgive your brother or your cousin for killing your grandma?
Kids. This one in particular lived with her throughout his life. She's always taken care of him. She was very close to him and his other siblings. She treated his mother as her own daughter, and they never argued. And she never had disagreements and arguments with him or any of her grandchildren. She said Desjuan Mack's father, the victim's son, was at the hospital with another one of his children when the family found out about the incident. You have to tell someone that your grandmother is gone and that your own son did it, Courtney Mack said. He doesn't understand, he said. Why? He said she did everything for him. All through middle school and through high school, he lived with her. He had all the game systems in his room, anything he wanted. She loved him dearly. Courtney Mack said the suspect's parents were talking on the phone, trying to figure out why our son did this. Family members said Desjuan Mack was close with his father, but moved to Minnesota for college. He returned to the area briefly before going back to Minnesota and having a daughter with someone, they said. He randomly came back a month ago, Courtney Mack said. He was going from house to house. He was with his mother and then with his uncle on her side. But
he got a whole daughter coming, so they lost. Oh my God! Now she lost a dad and a grandma. That's crazy. And this girl lost a father. Now she's definitely a single mama. Wow. He just said to everybody like.
Always gravitating back to his grandmother because that's who he lived with all the time. I'm really at a loss for word, the victim's oldest son, Jesse Smith, said. My mother was beautiful, warm person and cared for everybody. She just did not deserve this. I don't understand it. It's mind-boggling that someone that close to you and that you knew and loved you would do that, Courtney Mack said. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Like, share, and leave your comments below.
Wow. That's crazy, man. What do y'all think? Let me know. He was just there for a second. He couldn't hold his composure for a second, just a couple days or weeks, briefly in the area and go right back to college, finish that, work with a girl as a couple or just co-parenting, get a job or career, raise his daughter, find somebody else if whatever, experience life, and that's crazy. Like, we all gotta wait for death, but he just in a box waiting. He gonna be in a box waiting for it. Just in a box. All day to think nothing but the end. That's crazy, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they found something in his blood work or something. But he was just in school. Like, what happened? We'll see in the upcoming future. If I see anything, I'll do an update. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace. Come back. I see you later. Come back. Come back. Come in. Come